California.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And let me thank the gentlelady, Congresswoman Fudge of Ohio, for yielding and also for once again anchoring the Congressional Black Caucus's special order tonight. Once again, we're talking about job creation and how to turn this economy around. And I want to thank her for her consistent leadership and really taking so many issues that she knows so well and bringing them to the forefront so that the country can recognize and realize the work that the Congressional Black Caucus continues to do, but also in representing her district, which has been hard hit by the economy and by the foreclosure crises and by all of the issues that we all know so well. So thank you very much, Congresswoman Fudge, for once again on Monday night anchoring the special order. We're trying to bring, again, some attention to some of the most pressing issues confronting our country that often don't make headlines. As the chair of the 42-member strong Congressional Black Caucus, I rise this evening to continue sounding the alarm about the urgent and vital need to create jobs in America, especially in those communities that have been disproportionately hit and are suffering the brunt of this economic crisis, and who, as a result, are in desperate need of targeted, concrete, and meaningful opportunities. The statistics are staggering. While the national unemployment rate is about 9.5%, way too high, it is close to 16-17% in the Black and Latino communities. For young people, the national average is about 25%, yet for Black and Latino youth, it's nearly 40%. Unacceptable for anyone. For many months now, the Congressional Black Caucus has been and continues to be laser focused on stimulating the economy and creating jobs, especially for the chronically unemployed. We have sought to engage the Obama administration, House and Senate leadership, committee chairs, and our coalition partners to develop a legislative strategy to address the needs of millions of Americans who are struggling in this tough economic environment. During this period, the House of Representatives has passed a series of bills that would move our economy from recession to recovery. However, Senate Republicans have consistently and flagrantly stymied passing similar measures. Just last week, 40 out of 41 Republican senators voted to block extending unemployment benefits for 1.2 million Americans. Fortunately, however, there were enough votes in the United States Senate to pass this measure, which was followed the next day by the House of Representatives approving a similar measure once again. But for several months and weeks, the Republican senators prevented Congress from providing necessary relief for the unemployed. The Nonpartisan Economic Policy Institute recently released a report on the economic benefits of unemployment insurance. The report concluded that expanded unemployment benefits have added 1.15 million American jobs since 2007, promoted spending resulting in longer work hours for the employed, and resulted in a 1.7% boost in GDP. Economists have pointed to the economic value of unemployment insurance benefits. For every dollar we invest in unemployment insurance, there is a $1.60 return in economic output. But people can't survive forever on unemployment, and that's why the goal, of course, is to create jobs, workforce training programs, so that people who don't have the skills for the jobs of the new industries that we're creating these jobs for have the requisite skills and experience to get these jobs. Fortunately, though, on the during the unemployment debate, we were really able to break the impasse and develop a proposal and extend unemployment so that many Americans now are receiving some relief. But let me just say, Republican senators continue to block the $1 billion summer jobs program. Now, of course, it's a youth employment program because summer's almost over. These kids need to work for the rest of the year. We have a $2.5 billion emergency assistance for needy families working in the public sectors. Also, we want the Senate Republicans to really look at how to fund, and we found the pay for is for $1 billion for the National Housing Trust Fund, which will provide communities with funds to build, preserve, and rehab rental homes for that are affordable for low-income families. I can't tell you how shocked and disappointed I am that so many Republican senators with high rates of unemployment in their states are blocking legislation that will create jobs. The members of the Congressional Black Caucus went to the Senate several weeks ago to deliver letters laying out. We wondered if they knew how many people in their states were unemployed, so we broke it down by unemployment rates. We told them where the unemployment rates were in their state, and we tried to convince them that these bills that are in the Senate now, which are languishing, will put their constituents back to work. We weren't sure if they really got that, and so we wanted to make sure it was documented, and we took it over to them. And so we don't know if they read the letters or not. We don't know if they really believe it or not, but it's really crucial that the United States Senate act swiftly and pass this legislation. It's appalling that they're opposed to providing jobs for their constituents, for millions of Americans in these tough economic times. So the Congressional Black Caucus continues to fight for summer jobs, employment programs for young people. We want to keep teachers in classrooms. Of course, the House passed in the emergency supplemental bill to keep 140,000 teachers in classrooms throughout the country. That still hasn't been voted on in the Senate. We want to increase lending to small businesses. We passed a bill that would make $30 billion, mind you, available to loans for community banks at a 5% rate, which allows community banks to lend to small, minority-owned, women-owned businesses that create jobs. Still can't get any movement in the Senate on that. There are many pieces of good legislation that are really just sitting there. And so, Madam Speaker, it's really shameful. I mean, it's really a shame and disgrace. It's hard to even explain why the Senate won't move when there's so many Americans who are hurting and need our help. And we can do something, and we can do it now. So I'm urging everyone to call their senators and to tell them to pass these bills so that we can get America back to work. It's clear that we have a lot of work to do to get the economy revived again. The legislation and many other bills that are sitting over there need to be passed. Of course, this week local officials are here, thank goodness, advocating for the Local Jobs for America Act, the Miller Bill, comprehensive approach to creating jobs, which the Congressional Black Caucus has worked on in a big way. Local government investment in transportation, water, sewer, communications infrastructure also provide excellent vehicles and ways to create jobs, as well as helping to leverage the private sector by reducing private sector costs and creating opportunities for additional investment. So, Madam Speaker, as I close, I just want to say thank you again to Congresswoman Fudge and to the Congressional Black Caucus and to all of our colleagues and allies for staying vigilant on this, because it's going to be, you know, a hard road ahead of us if we don't figure out now how to create jobs for people who are unemployed. Because, you know, we're talking about opportunities. We're not talking about welfare or public assistance. We're talking about jobs, creating jobs. If you don't create jobs in this country, then what are we doing in terms of shattering, really, the American dream for millions of Americans? So I think every member of the Congressional Black Caucus wants to see every member of our society live the American dream, and you have to do that by creating jobs. I yield back now the balance of my time. Thank you, Congresswoman Fudge, and members of the CBC for leadership and for this evening.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Madam Speaker, I would very much like to thank the gentlelady from California, who has been a tireless advocate for